Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So the CAMMUS C12 here stunned me with its incredible torque and pancake form factor. Having just reviewed the budget-minded C5 and the first generation 15 Nm wheelbase, the C12 seems like a major upgrade in quality and performance. It has better switches, a swappable wheel, which you can see here is removed, and really smooth power delivery. There's also so much more with this wheel. It truly is their second generation of product. Unfortunately, it has been let down by two major flaws. The first is the paddle shifters. Out of the 3 wheelbases from CAMMUS that I have reviewed, 2 of them have had a bad paddle shifter. The one that didn't, the C5, most likely didn't fail because it uses these dual spongy buttons. These paddles, although satisfyingly clicky, are both bad on this and the 15 Nm direct drive wheelbase. This is a real problem for CAMMUS because it shows a trend of failing components. By itself, that's not really a huge deal because components can be replaced and swapped out in future products. All they need to do is identify the issue and correct it for future generations. But remember how I said there were 2 major flaws? Customer support is the second, and boy, do I have a story for this part. I was sent the direct drive wheelbase, the C5, and the C12 by CAMMUS for review. Now, you hope that when a product is sent to you that everything works as advertised, but this is not always the case. When you reach out to the company to try and get repair options, there's always a potential for reviewer bias, as the company tries to show how great their support is. This could not be further from what I experienced when I tried to solve the issue for the C12 here. Now, I reached out to the contact at CAMMUS with the issue, and he referred me to Kevin, customer support extraordinaire. The conversation started well with Kevin, offering a solution to my broken paddle. Unfortunately, it involved removing the entire front face of the wheel. Not exactly a great option for those that are not savvy with tools. Lucky for Kevin, I'm pretty handy with a hex, so I began removing the screws to unlock the secrets inside. But then this happened. Rather than just busting in and solving this myself, I reached out to Kevin with the exciting news. He responded with this: "Can you send a screenshot of your order, please?" This was followed by many emails trying to convince this kind gentleman that I didn't have an order, but I still had a problem to be solved. Kevin came through for me though and agreed to send me out a new set of C12 paddles, which, being that I wasn't able to get inside the base, seemed like a reasonable solution. 2 weeks later, and these arrived. Now, I am no expert, but this paddle does not match. There was only one wheel in the history of sim racing that has this small of a paddle. That's the C5, which is not the C12. I told Kevin this, and he asked for proof. Well, proof has been sent, kind sir. What's your next move? That brings us to the end of my interactions with support for the past few days, so it's time to take matters into my own hands. So what we're gonna do now is use some extraction tools to open this thing up. Kevin mentioned that there are no videos of the C12 being opened, so Kevin, here you go. Let's dig in. Okay, so the first step is removing this entire faceplate, which all that I can tell is held on by these screws along the side here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As I showed earlier in the video, they're stripped out. Some of them are stripped out, and I'm assuming that's because they use some sort of thread locker and they didn't want people opening this up. But we have to get this thing replaced, so we're gonna go ahead and get right to it. Now, the whole reason that we're doing this, and part of the thing that Kevin was mentioning, was that you have to replace this whole assembly here. There is no electronics that are on the outside that you can get to, and from what I can tell, this is mounted from the top using these threaded holes. But you only have access to one of them, which doesn't help much. So there's probably 3 more on the inside that are securing this whole assembly here. That way, if you take this front panel off, you should be able to get to those screws and the whole thing should come out from the side here. What we'll do is we'll see which ones are actually locked down here or stripped out, which ones we can remove. So we'll take these out. Those ones are good. And you can see when you take them out, it's just covered in that thread locker. All right, that's one of the ones that came out easy. We've got this one here. Yeah, that's stripped out. And I'm not even gonna try this one back here because that is very clearly stripped. This one right here is also messed up. So we have 3 that we need to take out. What we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in this tiny extraction kit. Got all these little baby bits here. Make sure that's set. Slow it down a little bit. All right. And we're gonna try this one that is really stripped out here without drilling it out. And it did. Okay, that was pretty easy. Now let's just go for the last one here and see if we can get it to work. All right. The whole thing should come out. Oh, okay. Yep, I forgot. There's this little... I have loosened that. There's a nut right in the center here. I'm not sure what that's for. Maybe I just have to get a small screwdriver in here so I can pry that. There are no screws along the side. And nothing on the back. All right, so what we're gonna do is get a little screwdriver and just try to pry up from the inside here. Let's see how hard it is to take these off. And I know this is not the right way to do this, but I'm gonna protect it with this here. Great if I had a tool that could make that work. Oh, that's too much. I really hope I don't have to take all those off. Is that unscrewing? It is not. Okay, screwdriver time. Okay, let's see if I can get in. Whole thing separates there. I'm gonna damage it if I do that. Gotta be some way in. Okay, well, I'm gonna be back once I get this. I'll figure out how to get this thing off. So no sense recording me struggle here. Yeah, I'll see you when I get some progress on this thing. Update. So it's just a really, really tight fit, and that's all that's holding this whole faceplate on. What I ended up doing was just a little bit of prying. It's probably not the greatest to be doing it this way, but prying underneath one of these, yeah, underneath here, onto this switch, pop this panel up a little bit, enough to get a screwdriver under there, and now we can successfully go all the way around and get the whole thing to pop up. There you go. So here's the reveal. Oh, there you go. Well, everything's kind of connected, so you can't really do much. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop this real quick so I can get the camera and then record this before I take it all apart and then put it back together. That way we can see, you know? I need to remember which paddle was broken. This one. I'm gonna check the video real quick. Nope, don't need to check it. I know for a fact. The right one was bad. Okay, B-roll is good. So as you can see, it's just a matter of taking these 2 screws that are holding this assembly in there. Hopefully they're not stripped out, but I'm gonna try them right now. I think it's the exact same screws as what we have here. I would have liked them to send me a bunch of extra screws because they have to know that these are gonna strip out. Ooh, yeah, it's already... It looks like this one here was stripped out when they put it in. So, let's see. Maybe if I can attack it with this. No. Yeah, alright, let's try to get this one out. Let's put force behind this. Oh, man. Okay, that is... not looking good. Just kidding. Did you hear that snap? That I did not want coming out. All right, camera shut off there for a second. It's not really going to help anyway. I don't know if you can see inside here. I don't think I'm going to be able to get this one out. Right tool for the job, right? Oh. I was wrong. That makes me happy, so I don't have to drill anything out. I can reuse these screws, too. And since we already disconnected it, there you go. That is what Kevin needs to send me. You know what? Let me go send him an email right now. Okay, so I have successfully opened this up, and you can see how the paddle assembly is installed. It just slides right in there. This would be a very easy swap if CAMMUS sent me the correct replacement. And guess what? Kevin came through. He wanted to surprise me, so he didn't respond to any of my emails or give me even the slightest hint that he was sending them out. But you know what? The end result is that I have the replacement, and now I can use this wheel to its full potential. I can actually use the paddles now, hopefully, if this is a working unit. So let's go ahead and put it back in, connect it back up, and see if it works. Pretty simple. Put this in, just like that. So I can use the same screws, which is great. That one looks a little rough, but that's okay. I'm not gonna put any thread locker back in there. I don't think they're gonna wiggle their way out of there because it is a pretty tight fit when you're screwing it in. But now that I know how to open this up and put it back in there, I can go in periodically and tighten everything up just if I feel it getting a little loose. There is one, and put the other one in there, just like that. Cool. Let's get these connected first. Goes to show you that you can replace these switches as well, because they connect in there just like the other one did. And now I need to try and finagle this through up into the center. So now you know when you're doing this, if you have to do this for any reason, don't take the center nut off. That is not holding anything. Oh, there you go. Let's put that back on. Make sure that we're not hitting anything. The wires aren't crossed anywhere. And that is a very tight fit. Like really tight fit. There it goes. Boom. That. So what we'll do is, again, right tool for the job. All right, well, I'm gonna put those in temporarily. I mean, these ones permanently, but temporarily because I will be testing this out and then finding a different screw. I'm sure I got something that looks like that. It's close to that I can put in there. Okay, to wrap this up, I was able to successfully swap that out as you saw, and when I tested it, it definitely registered like it is supposed to. So that's a fix. And I guess overall it is a win for the support team because I do have a working product again. Now, a lot of people will say that they don't want to deal with a fully Chinese brand like CAMMUS due to the complete lack of support. I completely understand that, but if you're willing to be just a little bit patient and try every way possible to communicate your issue, pictures and video are a huge help here, you can get the support you need. CAMMUS was relatively responsive and was pretty eager to provide the solution, even if the first attempt was wrong. Now I'm going to mount this back up to my next level racing cockpit that I just received. That way I can make some extremely awesome content that you should definitely check out. That's going to do it for today. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.